maternal health care is one of his major policies. School feeding, another major component of the several policies he initiated. With a thunderous applause, let's welcome the evergreen, the God-given, our everything, His Excellency, John Agyapong Kufuor. We are so honored to have you here. This is a precious moment for the new Patriotic Party. This is a refreshing event to have a stalwart in the shape and nature of His Excellency, the former President, John Agyapong Kufuor, to outdoor the Patriotic Institute for the new Patriotic Party. Papa, we are grateful. We pray for strength. We pray for God's blessings to forever be on you. We can now resume our seats. Media, please kindly position yourself well. Position yourself away from the dignitary so that we can continue. Media, please kindly excuse yourself so that the General Secretary is about to give us a presentation on the Patriotic Institute. Please, let's clear the front. Let's have a good view of our stalwarts. We have also seen the former General Secretary, John Kufuor, exchanging pleasantries with the dignitaries. Please, we have also seen the former Chief of Staff, our father, Honorable Kojo Impiani, in our midst. Please, with the greatest of respect, if we can kindly cut off the exchange of pleasantries. Dr. Antoinette Tibuda, please kindly see to it that the exchange of pleasantries is cut short so that we continue. Please, with the greatest of respect. After the program, we can have all the time to exchange all the beautiful pleasantries we want. Thank you very much. Now, the General Secretary to give us a presentation on the Patriotic Institute. Thank you.
Our second vice chairperson of the new Patriotic Party, Madam Rita Asobare, who is chairing this important activity. Your Excellency, John Agyapong Kufuor, our revered former president of this great country. Your Excellency, Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bamia, the former vice president and former flag bearer of our party. Our chairman of the National Council of Elders, Honorable Hakman Owusu Ajiman. Right Honorable Professor Aaron Maikwe, our keynote speaker for this August occasion. Our former Chief of Staffs, former ministers, our members of Parliament, led by the mighty Minority Leader, Honorable Afenyo Makin, our revered Council of Elders, our former National Chairman, our former General Secretary, National, Regional, and Constituency Party Executives, our external branch executives present, representatives of diplomatic missions and high commissions, partners from international organizations, friends from the academia, civil society, professional forums, TESCON, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media. Let me first express my deepest appreciation to you all for honoring the invitation to be part of this special occasion as we launch the Ideological Training Institute of our great party, referred to as the Patriotic Institute. Since the birth of the new Patriotic Party on July 28, 1992, we have made significant contributions to the rule of law, multi-party democracy, and socio-economic development of Ghana. The growth in our tradition, our ideology, our values, and the deepening of the knowledge on our history is today reborn by the launch of the Patriotic Institute. The mission of the Patriotic Institute is to nurture a generation of leaders and party faithful who possess a sound understanding of the MPP's history, ideology, and constitution, to also demonstrate a deep commitment to ethical and strategic leadership, who will excel in communication and political messaging, and are skilled in campaign strategy and grassroots mobilization, and have excellent understanding of the governance structure and policy direction of our dear party. As a party, we must have a deliberate strategy that gives our political leaders a more definitive and recognizable approach in voter engagement. We cannot longer rely on the general belief that the history, ideals, and tradition of the MPP will inadvertently pass from one generation to the other. We must be intentional in providing a customized, attractive, and systematic plan to reach this occurs. The Patriotic Institute is the ideal and transformative learning environment which permits every party faithful to learn and practice while converting more people to our fold. This is essential for the growth of our great party. Throughout Ghana's Fourth Republic, the new Patriotic Party has consistently demonstrated a commitment to democratic values, liberal economic thoughts, and inclusive development. Today, as our great party launches the Patriotic Institute, a premier party training school to serve as the engine to propagate our ideology, traditions, and values, to educate, groom, and mentor political leaders, and to strengthen our grassroots empowerment. I am deeply appreciative of the solid foundation put in by my predecessors who envisaged this great initiative. The deepest appreciation from me and the whole party goes to the former chairman Frederick Wasman Ublay, and the former General Secretary, Mr. John Kufuor. I also recognize the effort of the committee formed during the administration, headed by Professor Ebo Bonzim Simpson. The foundational ideas worked by this committee has been incorporated, and some members of the committee are actively engaged in the current working group of the Patriotic Institute. We appreciate your work and dedicated service to the party. The Patriotic Institute has developed a comprehensive curriculum that spans both mandatory and specialized courses. These courses are created by a team of in-house and external experts, drawing insights from our history, tradition, written and spoken values, political science, governance, law, communications, lessons from past campaign and elections, research and case studies from successful political training institutes like the Leadership Institute in the USA, Konrad Adenauer from Germany, the ANC Walter Sisulu Leadership Academy in South Africa. The working team have consulted and taken in the feedback given from all stakeholders and are still open for more contributions and feedback. Two main types of given from all stakeholders and are still open for more contributions and feedback. Two main types of programs will be run by the Patriotic Institute. We have one, the mandatory foundational programs, and two, specialized programs which will be run with target-specific needs of the party at specific times. The delivery of training programs will be through in-person workshops and retreats, online courses, and mobile learning portals, mentorship and leadership exchange programs, stories and shared experiences, group discussions with guided facilitation, simulation exercise, and role plays. The Patriotic Institute will set up regional training centers whenever there is a training program to decentralize its training activities. The delivery and facilitation will be standardized and similar in all regions. The training programs will be held concurrently in all the regional training centers of the country to allow every interested participant to join. The party will rely on a pool of experts as facilitators, lecturers, and researchers. And this pool will be drawn from our former MPs, ministers, deputy ministers, past executives from national to polling station levels, elders, patrons, former government appointees, from the academia and party faithfuls, from various professional and international organizations, non-governmental and civil society organizations. Participation in the mandatory foundation program will be a prerequisite for all elected and appointed executives at national, regional, constituency, and polling station levels. It will also be compulsory for all presidential, parliamentary aspirants and candidates, national, regional, and constituency party officers, party communicators will all be part of the school. Certificate of completion will form part of the qualification criteria for consideration for executive roles and appointments in our party. The Patriotic Institute has set up a website where all its programs and some details has been shared. Kindly note that you will be required to enter some information for security and confidentiality before you are given the opportunity to participate in any of the Institute's program. Administration of the Institute will be headed by a director appointed by the National Council. An Institute Management Committee, IMC, will provide strategic oversight and quality assurance. Facilitators and mentors will be assigned to the various courses based on their expertise, experience, and ideological alignment. Through consistent training and mentoring, the Institute aims to strengthen the MPP grassroots base with knowledge on the party's traditions, values, and ideology, ensure the electoral readiness and competence of the party, build an even stronger, principled, informed, and future-ready party leaders, institutionalize party discipline, and ideological clarity. In conclusion, the training program begins immediately with the research assistance of our members of parliament. The mandatory training program also begins this August. The Patriotic Institute is a bold and strategic investment in the future of the new patriotic party. It is not only a school of ideas, but a forge for the party's next generation of thinkers, leaders, communicators, and campaigners. By embedding political education in the DNA of the MPP, we will build human capital necessary to sustain our relevance and renew our base and lead Ghana into the future with vision and purpose. Further, we urge you all to support and to wholeheartedly avail yourself to be trained at the Patriotic Institute. We know you all have knowledge on our party, its tradition and values. However, what we seek to achieve is to fill in the potholes and gaps in our knowledge base. I will use this opportunity to ask dear patrons that as we enter into a period of internal elections, let us remember our long history and tradition, and that we must remain tolerant of criticism and embrace dissenting opinions. We have done it before and are determined to do it again. We appeal to all members, party executives, loyalists, sympathizers of the MPP to reduce the acrimonious tensions between prominent members of the Dankwa Buzia Dongo tradition. Further, we admonish supporters of various potential aspirants to refrain from the use of provocative language, character assassination in the lead-up to the presidential primaries. In this era of social media, it is important not to wash our dirty linen in public. After all, we remain the sons and daughters from the womb of one giant elephant. Indeed, we are blessed today to be a member of the new Patriotic Party, and indeed, we are happy that today we are launching our Patriotic Institute. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make the MPP great and strong. Kukudu! 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 Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General Secretary. Thank you very much. The General Secretary spearheaded this. The team that worked with the General Secretary, myself included, the National Youth Organizer, Dr. Antoinette Tibudako, the Director or Acting Director for the Patriotic Institute, and also Director for Training and Capacity Building, Nelson Owusu Ansa, Stephen Forsen, Vincent Ofori, Efua Jechua Prempe, Richard Ahiagba, Hajia Rabi Salifu, Baba Seydou Isaka, Chris Lloyd, the National Deputy Organizer, Dorcas Trema is also part of the team. Thank you very much, General Secretary, for the wonderful presentation. Quickly, we will take the keynote address from our respected former Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Professor Aaron Mike Okoye. With a thunderous applause, let's welcome our respected former Speaker of Parliament, the respected scholar, Right Honorable Professor Aaron Mike Okoye, to give us the keynote address.
Chairperson for this occasion, the General Secretary of the party, national officers present here, our former President, President John Kufuor, our former Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Bawumia, Chief of Staff, Honorable Frima Osei Opare, and also former Chief of Staff, our beloved Kojun Pieni, Honorable Hackman Uso Jimai, all distinguished ladies and gentlemen present, I greet you all and stand on existing protocol. This is a remarkable day in the history of our great party. I have a speech, but I won't read the speech because I've been given 20 minutes. But I will leave the speech for the sake of record and posterity in this party. We are children of the UGCC. We have forebears. We have a tradition of respect, a tradition for the search for the truth, a tradition for self-emancipation. Men and women who will not tolerate injustice and go sleep. They would rather die. That's why sometimes it pains me very much when I see signs of injustice in this party. That is not our way. Our founders did not set out to do anybody mafia. They were the custodians of fundamental human rights. Some Ghanaians think that the UGCC leaders did not want independence. Then why did they form the party? They only resisted oppression. They only resisted a monolithic interpretation of politics. All powers in one person's hands. That's what their protest was all about. There was principle attached to what happened. Sought independence. They met in 1947 after a number of other meetings. And in Sorbonne, they drew a constitution for the country. A constitution which contained separation of powers, fundamental human rights, respect for one another. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the last letter Dankwa wrote to Kwame Nkrumah in prison, he told him, Mr. President, I'm a very sick man. I'm advanced in age. I have done nothing wrong to be incarcerated. I ask that you release me to go and spend the rest of my days in my home. I want to remind you President Nkrumah, how the white man treated us when we were jailed after the 1948 riots. We were given freedom, even in our containment. We had access to books. Our wives visited us freely. Our family members consulted us on family matters. Our movements were only restricted, but nothing else. Release me before I die over here. If you read the original letter, you may end up in tears. He reminded that the white man did something different, even when he found it necessary to arrest you. He stood that this should not happen again. So if Dankwa was associated with Ray Akoto, it was because of ideas, beliefs, and values. And I trust that this is going to be the underpinning factor of this institute. That we may know where we are coming from, who we are really, where we are going, and how we should get there, applying the basic principles of the Dankwa, Busia, Dombo tradition. When elections came, and when propaganda became the era of the day, men like Dankwa suffered greatly because of the propaganda that they were thieves. They had been bribed by the white people, including one person who was brought in, they say, to divert the mind of the people from politics to sports, and so on and so forth. The CPP won the 1951 elections. You know, when people forget about unity in this party, some of us who are relatively old feel very, very pained. In the 1954 election, the idea was to have a last election to determine the party that the colonial authorities should hand power to. You should want to know that in that election, our party, which at that time had transformed into the Ghana Congress Party, GCP, lost every seat. 104 seats, we had only one. Our party has been decimated and dissipated. One, because of the propaganda of the era. That one seat was won by Dr. Kofi Abrefa Busia regarding the Wenchi seat. He beat C.E. Donko with less than 10 votes. The votes were counted 3 times under the supervision of the whites. When Busia got into parliament, one fact of it was that the Northern People's Party, which preferred our tradition and the way we do things, now made Busia rather the leader of the opposition. Busia could not have been leader of the opposition when the Northern People's Party had some 13 members of parliament and he was alone. Can we be able to do this? But today you can see all manner of bickering, all manner of struggles, all manner of unexpected activities. But one man was honorable enough to say, I will prefer that you are the leader and I will be the deputy leader. So he determined who should be the leader. And he gave a reason, because of the knowledge and the experience of the man. How many of us will be able to say this today? How many of us will be able to say this today? If not, if we are not many who will be able to say it, then may the Institute long flourish. And may it teach us throughout the years to come how we should go our way as members of the new Patriotic Party. You know what? We stand for something. We stand for what they believed at that time: knowledge is power. This country must be governed by men and women trained, qualified to lead a nation. Our former President Kufuor is here. In 1992, he was a contestant regarding the flag bearership. When honorable members who had been to Parliament before and others lost, they all really went around with Professor Edubuai. I was there. I saw with my eyes the spirit of respect and cooperation among all of them, like Dankwa and Busia and Dombo did. Throughout the campaign, nobody said anything untoward about anybody. I can assure you. And they went about telling us delegates. I was a delegate. As secretary of Greater Accra. I was the first secretary of Greater Accra in the party. Those were honorable men, honorable men. One of them is sitting there with honor as our former president. We all learned from this. And I remember carefully when President Kufuor was about to leave office in dignity and honor, and we had our Congress in 2007 in Legon, we followed that style. When we went around the country, we followed that style. Everybody, President Akufo-addo, Honorable Agyapong, there seated. I was a contestant who lost. We all went on one tangent. What will I do if fortune should smile on me and I should be elected? And what have I done before? I am praying all persons who are possible aspirants, let us be as the old patriotic people did. Tell everybody what you yourself you have done in your life before, what you have done in the party, and what you will do for Ghana if you should have the luck of being elected presidential candidate of the MPP. If we should do that, this party will be successful. I want to remind you finally about the cost of this unity. The cost of this unity. Our party in the year 1979, when we had the elections that brought Liman of the PMP to power, was divided to PFP and UNC. I wrote a book on this. You only have to do JSS arithmetic and put the figures together, and you will have realized that the election was cold chop for the Dankwa Busia tradition, but we decided to fight among ourselves and we lost the election. Anyone who pursues the pathway of division is not working in the interest of the party, and he must be excused. Anybody, anytime, without reference to anyone, any man or woman, now or forever, who works against that established principle will not be doing us any good. And we lost. It changed the history of Ghana. Brothers and sisters of the elephant, we have come to a certain crossroad by the opening of this institute. We must learn. That will help us a lot. There must also be what was before, party in partnership with government. I've gone about this matter when once I sought to be national chairman, when I also sought to be a presidential candidate. It is of great value to me. Party in partnership with government. There must be a symbiotic relationship between our party, which is the mother of the government at all given times. You will remember that when we lost the 1992 election, one thing we did was we formed committees. Those party committees we came to describe as opposition outside Parliament. We did not go to Parliament, but we formed our own parliamentary committees outside Parliament. I don't know how many people have copies of that. This morning I showed my copy, a copy to Honorable Agyapong. He says, let me keep it and make a photocopy and bring it back to you. His name was there. All the names were there. Honorable Agyapong, the president, the former president now seated before us, who was a member of the political committee and chairman of another committee. All these committees were the reason for our winning power in the year 2000. Because there were these men who also, under the leadership of the Honorable J.H. Mensah in Parliament, who were working still with the knowledgeable people outside Parliament in various committees. Mr. Secretary General of the party, this is the blueprint. I will present it to you today. Make sure this principle is sustained forever. Always a committee of the party, the mother of any government that we shall ever have. The men and women who are prepared and ready and able to play roles in any of these, we will have to bring them on board to work with the parliamentary committees. I trust that Honorable Agyapong will deserve a copy, and that will be presented also to him. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this tradition is a noble tradition. This is a tradition fashioned on principle. This is a tradition founded on the ideas, beliefs, and values of those people who founded Ghana. We are beneficiaries, and we must hold dear the principles that form this institute that today we have the privilege to open. I thank you very much for your attention and wish you all well.
Thank you very much, our father, for delivering the keynote address. Right Honorable Professor Michael Quay, thank you very much. We are going to take a message from our parliamentary caucus. It will be delivered by the minority leader, accompanied by the deputy minority leader, Ma Patricia. I've seen Honorable Sapuan Prechum. I've seen Honorable Tampuli. Please kindly accompany the leadership to deliver the message from our caucus. Honorable Tampuli, I see you. Honorable Sapuan Prechum, please accompany the minority leader. Honorable Patricia PJ. Please, members of parliament, if you are here, kindly join us here. All members of parliament here, kindly join us.
Your Excellency, President John Kufuor, national officers of the party, Chair of Council of Elders, former Chief of Staff, former Speaker, Right Honorable Okwe, former leader of our parliamentary group, Honorable Oseche Mensah Bonsu, former national officers, senior patriots, not the least, our former flag bearer and vice president of our great republic. Good afternoon. Today, I stand on behalf of the minority caucus in Parliament to share with you our thoughts on this great day as we launch our Patriotic Institute. Today, we are reminded of the principle of loyalty. And these are stories that define us, not as abstract political narratives. They are living testimonies of ordinary Ghanaians who chose principles and conviction over convenience. These stories remind us why loyalty to our cause transcends momentary dissatisfaction. Let me tell you about the true costs of the principles we claim to cherish. And let me make it personal, because these principles were forged in the furnace of my own family suffering. First was my mother, a dedicated pupil teacher. She lost her livelihood because she refused to bend the knee to the 31st December Women's Movement, and as a result, she was redeployed, a weapon that they used. And she stood firm because her husband was part of this great tradition. She could have joined the 31st December Women's Movement and saved her career, but she chose loyalty to her convictions over the security of her salary. My stepfather, a hard-working mason foreman at Pomaze Pottery Enterprise in Winneba, found himself demoted and transferred to Ankafo Warehouse after the 1996 elections. Not for incompetence, not for any professional failing, but for the crime of wearing his NPP allegiance openly. His expertise, his years of dedicated service, his proven competence, all rendered worthless by political vindictiveness. And my own dad, a civil servant at the Ministry of Agriculture's Mechanization Division, became a casualty of his own courage for daring to challenge the junta's excesses. He was not merely dismissed, he was forced into exile in La Côte d'Ivoire when an opportunity arose for him to serve at the UN in Geneva. The very ministry that had cast him out refused to release his clearance letter. A 39-year-old man in his prime was forced into retirement, his expertise wasted, his family shattered, his dreams destroyed by the very petty vindictiveness of those who could not tolerate dissent. Let me tell you what this meant for a young boy trying to make sense of the world where principle came at such a crashing cost. The economic turmoil that followed these acts of political persecution nearly destroyed my education. School fees became mountains too high for a broken family to climb. As my parents struggled, my mother without her teaching post, my stepfather demoted to menial work, my father in exile, my educational future hung by the thinnest of threads. It was only through the bursary I won from Dr. Papa Kwesindo that my educational path was salvaged from the wreckage
of political vindictiveness. But how many brilliant young minds were we able to save? How many dreams did we allow to die in the darkness of political persecution? How many children of MPP families saw their future sacrificed on the altar of their parents' principles? This is what loyalty came at a cost to my family. This is what standing for the MPP meant in practical terms. Not just political rhetoric, but empty plates, unpaid school fees, scattered families, and dreams deferred. Yet my parents never wavered. They understood something that perhaps we have forgotten, that our individual grievances pale in comparison to the collective good we serve. Dear patriots, today, as we launch this institute, let me say that it marks a new chapter in the intellectual and theological life of the new Patriotic Party, a true call for loyalty. It is the clearest institutional expression of our party's enduring commitment to development in freedom, to principled leadership, and to the constant renewal of the values that have defined the MPP since its inception. Over the past 3 decades, the MPP has stood as a beacon of democratic resilience, bold economic reform, and forward-looking governance. From its roots in the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition, the party has been guided by the values of individual freedom, the rule of law, private sector participation, civic responsibility, and progress anchored in democratic governance. The MPP has undoubtedly been the most transformative government in the Fourth Republic. Our liberal democratic foundations are not just philosophical concepts. They have produced results from the visionary social interventions of President Kufuor, like the National Health Insurance Scheme, capitation grants, and the school feeding program, to bold transformational programs under President akufo-addo, including the free SHS, 1D, 1F, and not the least, the Agenda 111 policies. And yet, we must ask ourselves, in a world that is growing ever more complex and competitive, how do we ensure that we remain relevant? How do we hold to our principles while innovating to meet new realities? I believe that those answers are what have brought us here today. The truth is, the best solution for Ghana lies within the MPP. We know this, but conviction alone is not enough. We must be able to articulate that belief with clarity, depth, and confidence to the people of Ghana. If we, ourselves, do not fully understand what sets us apart, what makes our tradition the most capable of advancing Ghana's development, then how can we effectively communicate it? How can we inspire trust, win hearts, or lead the nations forward? The first step to convincing Ghanaian people is for us within the party to be fully grounded in who we are and what we stand for. The Patriotic Institute is our response to that call. It will serve as a living archive of our party's journey, a center for ideological formation, policy innovation, and a training ground for the next generation of MPP leaders. It will empower our party's communicators and message bearers with substance, history, and strategic clarity. It will equip every member not only to defend our record, but to articulate with confidence the vision and values that make our tradition distinct. As your leader in Parliament, with my colleagues supporting the cause of our party, let me emphasize how critical this initiative is, not just for the party, but for Parliament itself. Too often, Political office is treated as a reward, not a responsibility. And so members of parliament sometimes take their seats with little sense of the ideology they represent. The Patriotic Institute must change that. It should be the fulcrum through which the MPP nurtures its leaders and shapes our policy conversations in parliament. With this institute, MPP members of parliament will no longer enter the chamber as individuals alone, but as custodians of an intellectual tradition, men and women grounded in our constitution, our policies, and the rich philosophy of the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition. This, I believe, will lead to a more thoughtful, value-driven scrutiny of our opponent policies. It will allow us to propose better, bolder, and more visionary solutions to the challenges facing Ghanaians. Alternatives that are not just populist responses, but principled, grounded in our beliefs, and reflective of our long-standing commitment to inclusive development. That is true leadership. This institute is a powerful reminder that the MPP is not merely a political party. It is a movement of ideas. And if we are to endure, we must invest in the long-term training of minds, cultivating leaders, and preserving the soul of our party. To our leaders and party leaders, today's event is also a moment of gratitude. I look around and I see the stalwarts who built this party brick by brick. And I am reminded of how far we have come. You must continue to guide us, our elders, as we too prepare to pass the torch to those coming after us. To the youth of our great MPP tradition, this is your time. Question ideas. Own your place in our history. Don't insult your leaders on social media. Use the back channels within the party to express dissent. And don't go out washing our dirty linen in public. Indeed, every cloud there is a silver lining. The outcome of the 2024 elections may not have gone in our favor, but perhaps it gave us the moment to pause, to reflect, and to birth this vision of Patriotic Institute. Had things turned out differently, this dream may have remained on the shelf. Let us not lose heart. The battle, as we say, is still the Lord's. My dear patriots, the elephant is mighty. Though it may stumble, it does not fall forever. We shall rise again, and we shall do so with clarity and a better strategy. Let us put an end to the anger and division of the past, and let us move forward as one people. The elephant is a winning symbol, and we shall win to save Ghana again. Long live the new Patriotic Party. Long live the ideals of development in freedom. And long live the democratic spirit of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The minority leader, Rats, from our minority caucus, Honorable Sapon Amprejum, MP Mampong, Honorable Hassan Tampuli, MP Gushegu, Honorable Yao Aduchum, MP Bosumche, Honorable Madame Patricia Apieje, MP Asokwa, and the minority leader himself, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Efutu. The moment we have been waiting for. We have the former president in our midst. We are fortunate to have His Excellency John Kufuor, to give us a message and also to officially launch the Patriotic Institute for us. Mr. DJ, are you forgetting your duty? Let's welcome to the stage His Excellency. Let's be upstanding. Let's be upstanding. Let's be upstanding. The former President of the Republic, His Excellency John Kufuor, to give us a message and also to officially launch the Patriotic Institute for us.
Mama Kuma Tomiomo Minya Mikase Meradika Bimamie Meradikasa Mama Kuma Tomiomo Okwami Kwi wa Brabwemu
Kukurudu! 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 Thank you. I want to thank the organizers of this event and the current leadership of the party that decided to set up this institute. I have listened to Professor Okwe. He gave the history of our tradition. And I've also listened to the minority leader in Parliament, Afenyo. Beautiful statement. But I do not want us to delude ourselves. We must ask, how come a party with the philosophy and vision for humanity, that's our main strength, humanity, of our tradition, how come we have been reduced to the current situation, a situation we all regret or must regret? How come? This thing didn't happen just like that. If we take care to look at the electoral history from 2016, 2020, 2024, and if we are sincere with ourselves, we would know that the electorate of Ghana has matured. Nobody can deceive it. I assure you, I believe this electorate, the Ghanaian electorate, I'm not talking of party electorate, has not rejected the value systems of our tradition. Who doesn't want respect for human rights? Who wouldn't want an economy that is generating wealth to benefit the entire population inclusively? Who would not support equality of opportunity for all the children of Ghana? All the children, from kindergarten through junior high, senior high, to the universities. Ghana would support this. Who would want to live under a dictatorship that would grab people and put in detention 5 years without trial? Ghana does not support that. 2016, the nation very liberally gave us power, huge majorities. But just 4 years later, let's be critical with ourselves. What was the outcome of the 2020 election? And then just another 4 years, what was the outcome of the 2024 election? I believe we must be stopped in our tracks to tell the truth to ourselves. I believe such self-critical analysis would be the first step to our regaining power. And it's possible for even 2028. Professor Okwe, in telling us, narrating the history, talked of how Professor Buzia in his time was just one-man opposition to the very powerful, highly organized, our first Prime Minister, first President Kwame Nkrumah's party in Parliament. Then they started off as Legislative Assembly. Just one man. It was his performance, one man against the heavy odds, that convinced the Northern People's Party under Chief Dombo to go and say, you be our leader in this house. That's how Buzia became the leader of the tradition. It wasn't just the knowledge Buzia had. He had degrees, yes. PhD, first Ghanaian professor in Legon, in sociology, everything. But it wasn't just the knowledge. Or was it just the, say, dislike of President Nkrumah or Prime Minister Nkrumah in those times? No. President Nkrumah was talking ideologies that were not founded in our culture. Buzia, like Dankwa before him, Dankwa unfortunately never got a chance to be part of the Legislative Assembly or Parliament. But he talked the principles, very enduring, very eternal principles that I believe the whole world is moving to support these days. Buzia continued with that. Common humanity, from which commitment to democratic rule, recognizing the sovereignty of the human individual came, and from which accountable governance, when the people give you their mandate by voting, they give the elected their power to go and govern. So if I give you my power to go and govern, then you must be accountable to me. That was what Dankwa and Buzia talked. And this was what pleased the then leadership of the North. Chief Dombo, Chief Yakubu Tali, Tolona, Jato Kaleo, Abai Fakabo. Fortunately, as I sit here, I worked with all these men. I was in my 20s when I joined them. The only one I didn't have the benefit, privilege to work with was J.B. Dankwa himself. Because I came back to Ghana as a young lawyer, 1965, January. The very next month, February 65, Dr. Dankwa died in prison, detention prison. Prison detention in Sawam, apparently died on the floor. He hadn't been accused. He hadn't been found guilty. But the man persisted till his dying breath that it was humanity he would support. That's why he talked democracy. He is a martyr. He died a martyr. Buzia continued in that. I worked with Buzia because when PP came to power, 69, I was 30 years old.
These days, young people, I see so many of you here. You complain, oh, the youth, this party doesn't give you. No, you must strike out, go in and contest. You don't expect anybody to give you anything on a silver platter. I was 30, I contested to come to Parliament. My constituency gave it to me. And when I came to Parliament, Professor Buzia, the teacher that he was, perhaps he saw something in this little boy. He said, you, be the Deputy Foreign Minister of Ghana at the age of 30.
I'm addressing you, the youth, because we are talking about your future in this thing. 2 years, 3 months of what I believe was a very good government, because it inherited so many problems. And the government was trying to find solutions, sometimes bitter solutions, but they were genuine solutions. The soldiers under Agyapong came to remove us. And I was put in Agyapong prison. I stayed there for 1 year, 3 months, not being accused.
I'm telling you, so the youth, when you complain these days, you must know it happened before, long before you were born. You must help yourselves. You are the majority now.
I'm having to tell you, we lost power 79 as we learned from Professor Kwe. Why? Because along the way, we found that even as we all subscribe to democracy, we tended to be too individualistic. Egos were so big. Everybody would go and look into his mirror and think that is perhaps superior or better than the next man. You see, a party must be united. We must be reconciled. But if we go in with swollen egos, I'm entitled, it's my turn. If you say that to yourself, the next man would also tell that to himself, or the next woman. So why do we get the unity? And without the unity, how can you call yourselves a party? Democracy is one man, one vote. Most of you lawyers, doctors, engineers, professionals,
these days we are all becoming Europeans. Monogamy. You and your wife, you live in a fine bungalow, perhaps with just a child or two. The liberal outside there at your gate may have 2, 3 wives, perhaps 10 children. When it's time to go and vote, and you haven't won the support, the trust of the, who would win?
It's common sense. Conclude. Please, it's a very sad situation we are in now, and this is why I was invited to come and launch. I'm launching. The physical launch perhaps would be performed by another, but I'm using this occasion to tell the truth as I see it to all of us. This disease of high individualism, me-tooism, was what led to our losing 79 election. We must tell the truth to ourselves. We lost 79 when you consider the ballots. First round, President Liman, and Liman was a good man. I had the opportunity to work with him in the 69-72 government. I was Deputy Foreign Minister, and he was a foreign officer. I met him, good man, but he wasn't a practicing politician. He was a professional civil servant. He became, if you like, president by chance. 79, his party, PNP, was looking for a candidate. Their choice was late Mr. Igala, but Igala had been disqualified by a commission of inquiry. So he turned around and picked this young man, well-educated, Dr. Liman. Just like that, and PNP accepted Liman. So into the election, nobody knew Liman much around the country. But because that party was so united, and PNP, united like a fist in a glove, and us, the PFP, UNC, we had split ourselves, believing that we were so good, the people of Ghana would see our goodness and give it to us. We were not organized. Rather, we were tearing at each other, destroying each other, telling all sorts of things about each other, assuming Ghanaians were not listening or watching. So when we cast the votes, that year, to our surprise, Liman came first, got 600 and something. Victor also, the PFP candidate, got 500 and something. UNC Powell got 300. And suppose we hadn't split ourselves, 500 plus 300 and something, we would have won one church. But once Liman got the lead into the second round, again, the way we hate ourselves. Before we knew, most of our people in UNC had gone to support Liman, even against our candidate, Victor Osu. That's how we lost it. I tell you, because we did that, we disappointed our country, Ghana, so much. That was how, may he rest in peace, Rawlings managed to succeed with the attempted coup and came to sit on Ghana for 19 long years, traumatizing the country. So sometimes when people are blaming, quietly I blame our tradition, our party. I'm not so much the tradition as the personalities in our party. We tend to be too self-centered. Kokrudu, I've told you, Buzia was a very lone member of the then Parliament in the 1950s. The Northern People's Party came to that house. Buzia was there before NPP came. I think NPP came in 54. But Buzia had been there from Legislative Council to Legislative Assembly. But Legislative was a lone member against the very powerful machinery, highly organized machinery of CPP. But the way he performed and the principles he upheld, I believe those were the things that made the Northern People's Party, entering Parliament then, or Assembly, decide, look, you are alone, but be our leader. I hope you are getting the point. See, at this point, I want to ask you, what's a party for? What is the central purpose of party? Yeah? To win power. That's I would say, the only purpose. If you are a party and you are not winning, once I said, people thought I was being too simplistic. I said, you might be better off being a messenger in a winning party than a general secretary that has no party. The purpose of party is to win power. We don't seem to want to learn. Please, we happen to be living in times. See, when I went to Parliament in 1969, the population of Ghana was just 10 million people. The whole Ghana. 10 million. As we speak now, population has moved to almost 40 million. I'm sure it might be even more. Full of youngsters who may not know anything of traditions. We are talking democracy. We are talking rule of law, accountable governance. We are talking private sector. Because we believe in wealth creation. Not because we are greedy, no. Without wealth, you may have the finest ideas, you can't implement the ideas. That's why we respect the private sector. We want to encourage the private sector to come into its own. If we have Ghanaian billionaires and they become billionaires legitimately, what's wrong with it? That's how the world moves. We believe in these things. But then, with all these ideas, well, where is the organization? See, to organize in current times, you must strategize. Your opponents, I remember they built a headquarters and said they were opening a school. They come from a tradition of organization. The first president of Ghana told his followers, organization decides all. Organization. Drilling people like into soldiers, military. So they take organization very seriously. They may not have a good message, but if they are united and they have got propaganda, they've got propaganda, they would make falsehood seem truth. You may have all the ideas, but you are not organized. Everybody is boss. Huh? All the good things we've done in the service of our country, we are not even able to tell people, advocate and propagate and espouse. We did this and this, and because not to boast, but these days, because of the pressures of life, people don't have long attention span. So if you are not making your points with digital times, sharp for people to get their imagination, they take you don't have a message. A party like ours, seriously, central think tank. A think tank should work so objectively that even hard truths would be told to itself. It might not be palatable, but if the truth, know it. Because it's only when you know it you can begin to solve the problem. You don't have, with all our intelligence and high qualifications, we seem to be afraid of critical analysis. We don't want to face the real truth. You see, the other thing with us, we may be brothers or friends, but I get the feeling that you've taken me for a ride. You've cheated me. I tell you, next time around you call me, I may not come. This is another thing we must admit. We are democratic. We uphold common humanity. So, and democracy really doesn't go in for tribe or religion or gender. It's the individual. One man, one vote. And if we want power, we want to present a person who would be convincing to the generality of the electorate. Can this man we are presenting help solve problems for the community at large? So the benefit spreads across the board for all. We look at that this way, if we tell the truth to ourselves, we may see that the way we've been brushed by our opponents from way back, oh, you are a tribal party. Oh, these days we are including even religion. You do that, and it comes from our mouth, then I tell you, we are perpetuating what we should be doing to get out of the, we are in a rut, a chasm, a deep gorge we've been put in there. If we do not change our minds and do not think critically, and then seek solutions through hard thinking, I'm telling you, touch wood, look, we wouldn't be the first party that went out of operation. I can't mention names, but a party that used to be like the only party around. Where is it now? Where is it now? Do we want to go that way? Then please, let's be self-critical. Let's be self-critical. And when we face the hard facts and we are strategizing, taking into account the positives and negatives, knowing ourselves, and then knowing our opponents, and then knowing the terrain, the people, the general people of Ghana, not taking them for granted, because, as I said, the electoral history should show an electorate that can change its vote within 4 years, like we experienced from 2016 to 2020, and then from 2020 to 2020, knows what it's about. Most of the electorate now, they are on campuses, university campuses. Places that used to be our readouts, our citadels, Legon, and how did we fare in Legon last election? Even with our own children there. Please, so we have serious homework. The ancient wise people, they said, make haste slowly. Make haste slowly. Don't rush, don't stampede, thinking that is the way to find solutions. No, we are dealing with all due respect, very wise electorates. And then, as I said, you may be my brother. If I feel you've dribbled me or tricked me to get to some point, and then you get there, you turn around to me, oh, come and support me. I may bow, oh, yeah, but seriously, I may deceive you. I may not come. Fair play should be the order of the day with us. We are democratic. We believe in justice. Our motto is freedom, development in freedom. And we want to feel like everybody is getting counted. So please, let's go back to the drawing board. Look at ourselves critically. Look at our opponents. Look at Ghana generally. Because the whole idea, you get the party to ask for power from Ghana, the people of Ghana. With the promise you're going to serve Ghana. If you forfeit the trust, you forfeit the trust, the people will show you. People talk monetization. Monetization. Everybody is angry. There's so much unemployment. We tend to know people. Today you get to some position and then you manage to get some money. When it comes to vote, you want to come and give me money. Oh, go and vote for me. Well, because I'm angry, I may take. But in my mind's eye, this guy I used to know, we used to share akufo-addo or something together. Now he is coming to buy me to go there so he would continue to enjoy, and me, I won't even have access to him. So they'll chop your money, then they go and vote against you. Then you turn around to blame them. You must blame yourselves. When it happens like that, we must blame ourselves. Because the people, as poor as they are, they want quality service. Our principles are there, high principles. High principles. And I believe when we are talking party, we must know is the principles we subscribe to, not the person who just on a temporary basis has been given the vote. Yes, Dankwa espoused democracy, but the party is not Dankwa. Buzia did, the party is not Buzia. Kufuor got the chance. Kufuor is not the party, not akufo-addo, not any one man. It's the principle, the undying principles. And if we will all be true to the principles, then I tell you, our party is the party of now and the future. Ghana will continue to support us, but we must be true to the principles. So when Mrs. Didier came to see me, inviting me to come to this, first I said, oh, me old man, you people, young people, it's your turn. I thought again, I said, I had some other engagements. So I'll rush here and give you my peace of mind and appeal to you. Appeal to you. Appeal to you. Please, the Institute is a very strategic, if we use it rightly. We can abuse it. But if we are going to be true to ourselves, this must be the Institute where we enshrine the ageless principles that we believe constitutes our tradition. Democracy, rule of law, respect for the private sector, freedom of thought and expression and association and of choice. Private sector, when Dankwa talked of property owning, Dankwa was a poor man. I don't believe he himself even built up. But he saw the necessity to create prosperous economies so the young would be well served. You want to do free education, you must have strong economy. You want to do national health insurance, you must have strong. The employment must be there to give hope to the young people. That's what Dankwa was talking about. These are our principles. And if any normal human being would be against these principles. This is our thing. This is our tradition. So please, young people, are here within the next 10 years or so. you might constitute about 60% of Ghana's population. It means the power is with you. Don't want free chops, free stuff. There's nothing like free chop. Resolve to work, but work. Trusting in yourself, in your self-respect. Let your brain, and you have got plenty of it, work. Try to tell right from wrong. Try to see the feasible, the person that will come and talk feasibility and show you, work with him. Whether he's your brother or a tribesman or church person or whatever religion. See, work for solutions, pragmatism. Solutions. Our party has suffered a lot because our opponents, with their powerful organization and propaganda, have succeeded in making many parts of Ghana think our party is tribally based. Are you getting me? They've got people to think. You talk our party or tradition, oh, these are Akan or Asante. No, it's not that. It's not true. But have we thought of this challenge? What are our solutions to these accusations? And for as long as the perception persists, for so long, if we are not careful, we may be pushed out of the arena electorally. So please, 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 let's be objective with ourselves. Let's talk principles. Let's look, the Rocha, who was General Secretary 69, became chairman in the 90s. One statement he made, and I never forget. He said, that we are in a party does not mean we are friends. That we are in a party doesn't mean we are friends. What it means is that we share the vision that this machinery party is the vehicle we need to get power. Earlier you told me that the sole purpose of party is to win power. We want to win power, then let's close ranks. Not as friends, but as people sharing the vision of using the vehicle to win power. See, analogy is, you go to Neoplan Station, you board a bus, VIP. You are going to Kumasi. You buy your ticket, they seat you. The next thing you know, they've brought another person to sit by you. The journey might last 4 or 5 hours. If you don't like the face of the person next to you, you may not even look at him or her. You look at the window for the 4 or 5 hours. But at the back of your mind, you are praying that the bus will take you to your destination, Kumasi. The other person may also not like you, but he or she too would be praying that you will get there safely. That's the party. We want power. Let's close rank. Reconciliation, unity. If we are not learning to reconcile, and if we are also not learning that Ghana is awake and getting more and more critical, especially of the politicians. Grassroots. We must not take grassroots for a joke. Another quote, and then I will thank you and declare from here that I have launched the institute. Dr. Afrajan, who used to be the electoral commissioner. It was he who said, elections are won at the polling station. I gave you the analogy. I live in my fine bungalow. My children, they are all grown, they've gone. When it comes to voting, perhaps it's just my vote I can go and cast. But the man at the gate, the watchman, has 2, 3 wives, got 10 children. If I do not secure his trust and understanding to support me, do you think I can win that election? So grassroots, grassroots, grassroots. Let everybody feel counted. And it's not a matter It's not just a matter of going to dish out money. It's not just dishing out money. Let the people trust that you, when you have chance, you serve the good interests, inclusively of all of us, humanity. That's the central vision, the central belief. We talked down Kwabuzia Dumbo. What they believed in was common humanity who must be respected and be given dignity of humanity. If we do this, then I tell you we have no problems. And the institute that I see this occasion to launch, I pray God should bless it and should be an institute to impart deeper awareness of what getting involved in party means. It's all about power. Power, if you don't have power, you are dead. That's what it is. So we must know the nature of power, must learn how do we get everybody in the community to appreciate that we are capable when entrusted with power, to use it to serve the general populace, to make life better and happier for all of us as humans. This is what the Institute should be about. So I bless the Institute and I use this occasion to launch it. God bless all of you. Thank you. Kokrudu!
Let's be upstanding as we show massive appreciation for our respected former president. Of how we are grateful. We are grateful. In fact, this is the first lecture we have received for the Patriotic Institute. Today we've listened to 2 lectures already. Professor Michael Kwe, and then the second lecture also coming from His Excellency, the former President John Kufuor. Thank you very much for this. His Excellency touched on our ideologies. The party's ideology is to liberate the energies of the people for growth of a property-owning democracy. He explained it. In this land and with the right to life, freedom and justice as the principles to which the government and the laws of the land should be dedicated. His Excellency exchanging pleasantries with His Excellency the former Vice President and party leadership, with Madame Rita Talata Sobaye, the General Secretary also exchanging pleasantries with His Excellency the former National Chairman Freddie Blay, also in a beautiful tete-a-tete with his, and the former national organizer, former director of preparations office of the president, Lord Oblete Komi, also in a beautiful exchange of pleasantries with His Excellency. We are grateful to have you here. We are grateful. We are grateful. We are honored. It is refreshing. It is a beautiful moment to have our own former president to officially launch this institute for us. As he himself said, he had another important appointment, but he had to pass through. Please, we will continue on. We already have a beautifully well put together auditorium for the Patriotic Institute. It is just here at the premises, and we'll be inspecting, the dignitaries here will be inspecting the auditorium or the hall for the Patriotic Institute in a moment. Thank you very much, His Excellency John Kufuor, for such a powerful message and also officially launching this event for us. We shall take a message from one of our pillars as well, the immediate former president of the land, the free SHS man, another distinguished personality in the Dankwa Dombo Buzia tradition. We will also take a message from him, and the message to be read on behalf of His Excellency the former president will be delivered by the former chief of staff, the first ever female chief of staff, our own Mami Frema Opare Osei will deliver the speech on behalf of His Excellency the former president. Please, let's welcome our own mom to the stage as she a Mercedes-Benz car number DV2460U. Please, kindly move the car from there. You have blocked many. Kindly move the car from there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Message from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on the official launch of the Patriotic Institute. Fellow patriots, I extend the best wishes to you on the launch of the Patriotic Institute, the capacity building center and think tank of the new Patriotic Party that seeks to deepen the knowledge and understanding of the liberal democratic values and principles of every dedicated and committed member of our great party, and to provide a transformative environment to mentor future leaders of our party. Some hold that leaders are born and not made. The premise of this institute takes us to another approach where we believe that leaders are indeed made and can be shaped, regardless of their origin. We need to inculcate our history, tradition, and values to sharpen the orientation of our people. The Patriotic Institute, through its customized programs, relevant and all-embracing, will seek to equip and mentor leaders with skills and empower them to be great and resilient. I'm extremely passionate about this particular project. For me, this will be one of the most important channels through which we will have a positive impact on our party leaders and us, our nation as a whole. Ghana and its citizens stands to benefit from the Patriotic Institute. Our collective action as a party is geared towards improving the lives of the Ghanaian citizenry and uplifting our nation in conditions of freedom and respect for the rule of law. This institute will shape Ghana in numerous constructive ways as we propagate the spread of values that build a country with leaders responsive to the needs of the freedom-loving people we seek to serve. I am of the firm belief that the impact of the Patriotic Institute will go far beyond the borders of Ghana, as the leaders of MPP trained by this institute will also aspire to take up the mantle of leadership on the continental realm. Great leaders bring success and honor. Leaders with vision and commitment are able to create opportunities even with meager resources. Good and responsive leaders can be nurtured and deliberately taken through processes of mentorship to enable them to mature. This is what the Patriotic Institute aims to do. The launch of the Patriotic Institute is the end result of years of strategic thinking and development. I wish our great party, the new Patriotic Party, and the Patriotic Institute every success as they embark on this journey. May all who pass through the doors of this institute be groomed into patriotic and transformative leaders. I would like to thank the hard-working patrons who conceived this idea and have over the years labored tirelessly to ensure that the vision of the new Patriotic Party Institute that raises and equips patriotic leaders becomes a reality. We are appreciative of your labor of love, and we thank you for your determination and commitment to succeed. Ayuko, God bless our homeland Ghana, God bless the new Patriotic Party, and God bless the Patriotic Institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our mom, the former Chief of Staff, who just delivered a beautiful message from the former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Before we take the vote of thanks, we will take some remarks from our respected Chairman, Council of Elders, also for
the noble call to selfless service. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Council of Elders has a mentorship program dedicated to these ideals, and it is indeed our hope that this institute will serve as a training ground, a hub for developing strategic leadership, effective communication, and resilient advocacy. We aim to prepare our future leaders to confidently stand up against opposition, articulate our values clearly, and shape the policies that reflect our conservative ideals. To the youth and future facilitators of this institute, take this gift seriously, learn from it, grow through it, and pass it on to generations yet unborn. May the Patriotic Institute shine as a beacon of knowledge, patriotism, and ideology, clarity for generations to come. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Hackman Owusu Agyapong. So, before we inspect the conference room or the lecture theater for the Patriotic Institute, we will have the vote of thanks or the closing remarks from, and then vote of thanks from the Deputy General Secretary, Dr. Antoinette Tibudakun, who is also the Acting Director for the Patriotic Institute. After which we will take the closing prayer from the Greater Accra Regional Chairman, Chairman Divine Aguhom Otu.
Thank you very much, Commander. Your Excellency, the former Vice President of Ghana, all protocol duly observed. I'd just like to make my closing remarks based on the way forward for the Patriotic Institute.
We are beginning our training programs immediately after this lunch. We have designed mandatory programs that will be compulsory for our party officers from national to polling station level. We also have our specialized and our targeted programs. Beyond all of this, we want to make sure that the Institute is very emphatic on mentorship and growing more leaders within our party. Your Excellencies, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, all of this requires financial support. We need to have a strong financial backbone to ensure that this institute is sustainable, can continue, and can deliver to every fellow patriot, no matter where you are. And that is why we intend to establish the regional hubs. What you have seen at the headquarters today is an edifice where we have put together resources and have ensured that we have renovated and put in place training rooms. Though we have the training rooms here in Accra, and this will mainly be for the specialized training programs, the mandatory programs are going to run across all 16 regions of the country to ensure that it is all-encompassing and gives everyone, every patriot, an opportunity to be part and to learn about our traditions, our history, our values. And that is why we are asking you to support, that when we call on you, please give us support so that we can successfully run all of these programs. On that note, I'd like to say thank you as we bring this historic occasion to a close. We are deeply grateful to all of you who have contributed in diverse ways and have also taken time out of your demanding schedules to be with us this morning into the afternoon for the official launch of this Patriotic Institute. We are grateful to you, Your Excellency, the former Vice President of Ghana and the flag bearer in 2024 of our party, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. We are grateful to Your Excellency, John Kufuor has left. Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is not here, but we are grateful to him. We are grateful to all our distinguished former members of former presidential aspirants who have honored us with their presence, to all former ministers of the past administration, to our members of parliament, to our respected council, elders, and party executives, to our national council chairman, to all national executives, to our former national executives, representatives of diplomatic missions and high commissions, our partners from international organizations and foundations, academia, civil society, and all our professional bodies, and to all members of the media, fellow patriots, all our distinguished and invited national, regional, constituency, polling station executives, and all of you who have taken time off to grace this occasion. Our sincere appreciation goes to you. We are indeed very, very grateful to you. And finally, we just want to thank you for believing in us, for having this shared vision with us, and for joining this journey for us to build the MPP that we all believe in and that we love. We know that we have values, and the sharing of these values is what would enrich in our party. Let's be committed to the Patriotic Institute.
We want it to become a living legacy and a testament to the greatness of this party, one that builds a future for everyone, for the party that we love, and for the whole of Ghana. Thank you all very much. God bless the new Patriotic Party. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and God bless the Patriotic Institute. I'd like to say special thanks to my organizing team here, including the General Secretary. They have worked tirelessly round the clock for this program to be a success. Thank you very much, my team. And thank you to all the staff here at the headquarters, to the security especially, and to everyone who has contributed in diverse ways to make this program a success. God bless us all and take us home safely.
Thank you very much.